For the first time since 2014, the Mariners have won a series in Boston. Let's talk about it. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. This is Titan Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners postgame show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off your first purchase. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode, and new episode of CTZ dropping later today. So be sure to check that out. Mariners win their first series in Boston since 2014. Oh, it's finally over. The drought is over. 4-3 win today, 8-5 win last night. They beat Garrett Crochet this afternoon. He ends up throwing 110 pitches in this game, but they're able to get him out of this one after 5 innings. They get 4 runs off of him. Did have some other opportunities that they weren't able to capitalize on against both Crochet and the Red Sox bullpen. But hey, you score 4 off of an ace like Crochet, you have to feel pretty good about yourself. And the Mariners did enough to win this ball game, to win their 5th series in a row. They are 14-11. They go 6-3 on this road trip. Again, they have exercised the demons of Fenway Park, winning their first series there in 11 years. They won their first regular season series at Rogers Center since 2019 on the weekend. You have to feel really good about yourself if you're the Seattle Mariners right now, right, Colby?
It's funny because the last time we talked, the Mariners had just dropped the first game. Trent Thornton was terrible. He just kind of surrendered any shot he had to win that game. They left a lot of runners on, and they hadn't won at Fenway Park. They won a series since 2014. We weren't even sure how long it was the last time we talked on this show.
And you had lost the one game that you actually had the pitching advantage in on paper.
Right. And so, it's the vibes were not great. We're still sitting here like, okay, 4-5 road trip. That's pretty darn good. And maybe, just maybe, you can find a way to steal one of these next 2 games and, go 5-4. And that's good. That's good. And of course, because this is the beauty of baseball, the Mariners win a game last night on the backs of Emerson Hancock, Leo Ross, JP Crawford, and Ben Williamson.
Yeah.
And then they come into today's game having secured a winning road trip and stealing a game in Fenway. And they drop 4 in the first 2 innings against Garrett Crochet, and then hang on for dear life the rest of the way and get a 4-3 victory to earn their first series win at Fenway Park since 2014. Ty, listen to some of these names that played in this game.
Okay.
The last time the Mariners won a series, this was the series clinching game.
Okay.
Starting lineup: Austin Jackson, Dustin Ackley, Robinson Cano, Kendrys Morales, Kyle Seager, Logan Morrison, Chris Denorfia, Mike Zunino, Chris Taylor, Brad Miller, and Andy Chavez.
Oh, it was after the deadline.
Is August.
Yeah.
The starting shortstop that day, listen to this Red Sox lineup: Brock Holt, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Yoenis Cespedes, Mike Napoli, Alan Craig, Will Middlebrooks, a young Mookie Betts hitting 8th.
Yeah. I believe that was his 20th game, according to Adam Jude. Yeah.
Christian Vasquez. The Mariners used 7 pitchers in this one. Hisashi Iwakuma gave up 5 and 2 1/3 of an inning, 2.1 innings. Dominic Leone got the win. He went 2.2 innings, still walked 3 guys, but he got the win. Joe Beimel, Danny Farquhar, Charlie Furbush, Tom Wilhelmsen, Fernando Rodney, all pitched in this game. The starting pitcher that day for the Red Sox, Alan Webster, also pitching in this game. The likes of Craig Breslow, who is now
he's there like it's not, it's like a weird title that he has. It's
he's
not even
working
president of
for
baseball operations. It's something else. But
he's working.
He's the decision maker, though.
Yeah. They won that game 8-6. Fernando Rodney collected his 38th save of the year. That is how long it has been since they won a series in this stupid ballpark. And the ballpark almost got him again today. And yet,
freaking pesky pole, dude.
And
Mickey Mouse ballpark
also robbed a home run from Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
And yet they win.
Yeah.
They win. And they will go 6-3 on this road. They win every series of this road trip. They have now won, I think it's 11 of 14. Like, they are 14-11. They have surpassed the 54% threshold. Now they head back home. Makes the ride home, the long plane trip back home, a lot more palatable.
Yeah.
Because they
especially because
tomorrow.
You have to play them. Yeah, you have to play tomorrow night. Yeah, I mean,
why
not? Let's have the day off in between. Our trip from Toronto to Boston, which is like an hour-long flight.
Yeah,
but not the 6-hour flight from Boston to Seattle. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. But yeah, jeez.
So yeah, it is. I mean, baseball's awesome because of the last two games. You see exactly why it's awesome. And it's especially awesome when your team wins those games, where in the past, those games at Fenway Park, you would have lost. You would have lost today's game at Fenway Park in any of the last 10 years. But this year, found a way to win.
And hey, a pretty normal final score at Fenway. 4-3. It's a nice final score. It's nothing too insane like we've seen too many times at Fenway when these two teams get together. I mean, even the last 2 days. I mean, 8-3 and 8-5 were the final scores of the first two games of the series.
Yep.
Yeah, I like an occasional 4-3 ball game here and there. Would have been cool had it been 4-2. If not for the stupid pesky pole, stupid Mickey Mouse ballpark. But whatever, we'll take it. Yeah, I mean, this was a game where you got enough contributions out of the offense. You got a really nice start from your starting pitcher. Bullpen mostly held it down. Great stuff. This is how the Mariners really are built to win. And it was nice to see them actually win in that fashion. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Brian Wu, Colby. He was really good today. We'll go over his start in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Play high quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. And if you already have a console, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your games or your kids' games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Again, that's Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners post-game show following the Mariners 4-3 win over the Boston Red Sox. Mariners have won 5 series in a row, folks. This was their first series win in Boston since 2014. Crazy stuff. Again, exercising some demons on this 6-3 road trip. Really, really nice to see. You love to see it. Colby, let's talk a little bit more about this offense before we get into Brian Wu's start. What did you make of their day overall against Crochet? And then, again, like I mentioned, they had some opportunities that they weren't able to capitalize on against the bullpen.
I mean, you kind of have to break them down into two different parts here, because against Crochet, literally all you're trying to do is scratch a couple runs out, try and get them out of the game early. And they did that. They got to them. They put up 4, which is more than you could hope for. And he's going to strike guys out. So on a day like today, where you're facing a pitcher like Crochet, you kind of have to look at the strikeout totals and be like, whatever, like that's just part of what's going to happen today. And in the Mariners offense, they did strike out. They struck out 13 times today.
Yeah.
9 of them against Crochet. But they got him out after 5 innings. And honestly, only because Cora was kind of being weird did Crochet make it through 5.
His pitcher usage the last 2 days has been weird. Winkowski threw 80 pitches out of the bullpen last night, and then he got sent down. And then, Crochet, 110 pitches in April for a guy where there were questions about his durability last year. Interesting, to say the least.
So, I mean, the Mariners really, there weren't a lot of hard hit balls in this game, period. Seattle only had 6. 4 of them. Is it 4?
Yeah, 4 against Crochet.
Sorry. Yeah. Mariners pitching gave up 6. My bad. The Mariners only had 9 hard hit balls in this game, 4 of them against Crochet. And they really worked a lot of counts. They drew a lot of walks, 5 walks for Crochet, but also, they had a lot of their hits came deep in counts too, in 3-ball counts, 2-strike counts. And so when you kind of break this game into 2 parts, the versus Garrett Crochet part and versus the bullpen part, you really kind of get 2 different types of offenses. The offense against Crochet, really good, about as well as you could possibly expect to do against a guy like that. Against the bullpen, and mind you, not their best guys out of the bullpen, they created traffic, but they couldn't get the big hit, which has kind of been a reoccurring theme here. Not lately, but so far in the totality of the year, you just keep on waiting for that kill shot to come from, against the bullpen. And it really didn't this day around. So overall, I think you look at the offense. Look, they only scored 4, which is fine. That's not a terrible total. You take 4 most nights.
Yeah.
But they only score 4, but they have 9 hits in this one. They have 8 walks.
Yeah.
So, it's a little tough to be too negative about the offense. But
3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Not great. I mean, it's better than 0 for 13, which we have seen this year.
Sure.
12 men left on base. So, you can make a little bit of a gripe there, but overall, again, you're going up against one of the few true aces in baseball this afternoon, and you got 4 off of him. In a rubber match, like that's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem of today, there was just not enough thump. Only 1 extra base hit in the entire game. It was Mitch Garver. It was a big one. Gave you 2 early against Crochet.
Last night, if I'm not mistaken, they only had 1 extra base hit as well. They had like 12 singles and 1 home run. Yeah.
Which is odd for Fenway. Now, to their credit, they did hit a couple missiles in the late innings that didn't go
Master
their
Boney
way.
hit a ball that would have been a home run in 27 ballparks.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is like glitched on Baseball Savant. It says 2 out of 30, but when you click on it, it says 27 out of 30. I don't know.
So whatever. But there were a couple of balls that were, struck well, and they didn't get paid off, blah, blah, blah. That happens. That's baseball. But I think overall, when you look at versus Crochet, I think you have to say the offense was really good today versus the Red Sox bullpen. They didn't do what they needed to do, but overall, again, when Crochet's on the mound and you score 4, I think you have to take that as a win. So the offense obviously did enough. They won this game 4-3. And the number of really high quality at bats they had against Crochet is just kind of a continuation of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. And Crochet is just that much more talented than some of the other guys they face, who they have been able to get those big hits against. That just speaks to how good Crochet is, because he was not great today. And give the Mariners credit, they didn't really help him out all that much. They made him throw a lot of pitches.
Super frustrated.
Yeah. And so, I think overall you have to say the Mariners offense was pretty good today, but against that portion of the Red Sox bullpen, you really needed that one big hit, and nobody could get it. But thankfully, it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah, we heard quite a few F-bombs over the hot mics on the field today between Garrett Crochet and Liam Hendricks, and it got to a point.
Hendricks pitches.
Yeah, it got to a point where Goldie and Hyphen were just like, we're not going to apologize anymore.
No, blanket apology.
Yeah.
But so overall, I think you have to say the offense was pretty good, but it definitely wasn't the star of the day. Although, again, I don't want to understate how good the offense was against Crochet. It was a great first 5 innings for them.
Yeah, it was just a much more complete effort from the club today. Again, like I said, this is the formula for how the Mariners need to win ball games for the most of the year. Because again, we're going to see regression from this offense. It's going to happen.
Yep.
That's not to be negative at all. It's just
baseball.
Yeah, it's just baseball, right? We're also going to see progression from this rotation, and we saw a little bit of that today. Brian Wu, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Gave up the solo home run to Bregman. Bregman got him twice. Bregman had the other RBI off of him as well. But just 3 hard hit balls for Brian today, which is massive. Especially after giving up 14 hard hit balls to Toronto on Friday night. So talk a little bit about his start.
Yeah, Brian was good tonight or today. And he needed to be, because it was great that Hancock went, 6 last night. Unfortunately, though, Casey Legumina came in and it created a situation where you had to use some high leverage arms, Munoz. And so there was some question about like, hey, if Wu can only go 4 or 5 today, we might be in a little bit of trouble. And again, there's no off day till Monday. So you really did need Wu to get deep in this game and 6 innings.
Wait, do they have an off day in between the Marlins and Angels?
It is a 3-game series, off day Monday, 2-game series against the Angels.
The schedule is so stupid. The schedule is so dumb.
I think they might even have that Thursday off too.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to schedule discourse today. Maybe we'll have time to do that tomorrow. But
I mean, who knows what we're going to talk about tomorrow?
Yeah.
They have Monday and Thursday off next week.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Why
Good job,
not?
Schedule makers.
Yeah.
Can't give them the day off on the cross country trip, but we'll give them Monday and Thursday off, so it'll be fine. Anyways. Wu was really good today in a very tough environment to pitch in. And, we saw it wasn't his worst start of the year not statistically, it wasn't his worst start of the year in Toronto, but it was, consistent hard contact and all that. And so it was kind of a question, how is he going to rebound from that? This is his first start at Fenway Park. And again, we know how good this lineup is. We know how difficult the ballpark is to pitch in, and he spins a quality start, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, just 3 hard hit balls allowed. Pretty typical Brian Wu game. He only made a couple of mistakes. All 3 of them ended up being hits. So sometimes you don't get lucky in that regard. But it was pretty standard Brian Wu today. It was 91 pitches, 65 fastballs, split between the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. It was really a great day for the whiffs. In this one, 46 swings, 16 whiffs, 35%. The big number there is the 39% whiff rate on the 4-seam fastball. Keep in mind, in 2023, it was Luis Castillo who led all of baseball in whiff rate on this 4-seamer. And Luis that year was at about 32%.
Yeah.
So 39% on a 4-seam fastball is elite. Anything over 30 is really, really good.
Yeah.
39% is elite. That is an elite fastball, which he had today. Also backed it up with a 29% whiff rate on the 2-seamer, the sinker, as well as a 50% whiff on the sweeper, a 40% whiff on the slider. So all in all, 16 whiffs, 35% whiff percentage, lots of called strikes. He was peppering the strike zone all day. You look at overall what he did, 91 pitches, 58 strikes. And again, because he's 65 fastballs, he is going to throw more strikes than normal, but he was doing a much better job tonight than he did early in Toronto of keeping that ball out of the middle of the plate. And we also saw a good mix of sweepers and sliders, 20 breaking balls, 26 off-speed pitches. And we saw a differentiator between the sweeper and the slider. So you kind of had 2 different breaking balls working today, as well as his 2 fastballs. Makes for a really tough day for any offense. But Brian Wu was really good tonight, and he's been your best, most consistent starter all year, and that continued tonight.
Yeah. It's early, but Brian Wu right now is off to an all-star level start to the season. Yeah, it was really. Yeah, you mentioned the sweeper and the slider, and there was a time, I forget who he was going up against in this particular at bat. But there were a couple of times that he tried to land that pitch and it was just so far off. And then he spiked the one that bounced up and hit Casas.
Yeah.
And then for a little while there, he was like, screw it, I'm just throwing my fastball. And then he just started blowing it by guys. I think it was Christian Campbell, maybe. They just started blowing it by.
Yeah.
Tough afternoon for Christian Campbell, by
Christian
the way.
Campbell's been like really, really good. Like he's rookie of the year front runner right now.
Yeah.
It took 20 games, but he had his welcome to the big leagues moment today because Mariner pitchers showed zero respect for the rookie today. And he went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
Yeah. So, especially Mooney in that last at bat. Woof.
I think we all, because we saw him they attacked him with fastballs and he was like fouling them off and all that. And then they would just drop the slider on him. I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 strikeouts came on the slider. And he just wasn't even close on any of them. So, it's kind of funny. Like Campbell's going to be an incredible player. He's had an incredible year so far. The Mariners abused him today, and it was hilarious to watch. And Wu got him a couple times as well. So, the Mariners pitching pretty darn good today. Would have been even better if they were playing in a normal ballpark, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, right. It was 1 strikeout on Wu's sweeper, 1 strikeout on Mooney's slider, 1 strikeout on fastball from Snyder, and the first strikeout of the game for Campbell was on Wu's 2-seamer.
So sinker, 2 sliders, and a 4-seamer.
Yep. Yeah, he saw it all, and he got smoked every single time today.
Welcome to the bigs, kiddo.
Yep.
It's not as easy as it seems.
All right, so coming up, it's the segment you've all been waiting for.
Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Mariners. Make sure you follow us on all the socials and whatnot. Subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Colby's worst nightmare.
Peace.
We're talking about. We're going to be talking about Emerson Hancock's start last night in just a moment. But first, a reminder: this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is once again brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like the energy of an MLS match, the chants, the atmosphere, the last-minute goals. If you want to experience it all live, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLS tickets. Plus, ticket prices actually drop as kickoff gets closer, so you can score amazing seats at a great price. I love that I can see the exact view from my seat before I buy, so there's no surprises when I get to the stadium. Gametime also has event cancellation protection and even job loss assurance, so I can buy with confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners post-game show following the Mariners 4-3 win over the Red Sox. And because we're doing a post-game show today, we haven't had a chance to talk about last night's win in game 2 of this series. 8-5 win for the Mariners. Offense had a great night. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I think they had like 12 singles and then a home run, and that was it. Right? That's where all their offense came from. But
first 3-run homer of the year for JP Crawford.
Yeah,
for any Mariner, but it came off the bat of JP Crawford, who has been really good on this road trip and probably should be hitting leadoff, which is what we're going to talk about next. So when you break down the new lineup, it should go JP hitting 1, Polanco 2, Randy or Cal 3, the other one 4, and then Julio can hit 5. He should still definitely be hitting ahead of like Rowdy and Rayleigh right now, but like he shouldn't be hitting leadoff. I don't know, you can make an argument maybe Ben Williamson should be hitting first or second.
Right.
I think that was my big takeaway from last night's game.
Yeah. Or
everyday second baseman.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Speaking of, 7, 8, 9 went combined 7 for 12 last night with 6 hard hit balls, 5 ribs. JP had 4 of them, to be fair. But first 3 hit game of Ben Williamson's career last night.
3 walks, strikeouts.
He had another hit today against Garrett Crochet. Ben Williamson has been really good.
A couple of hard hit balls today too that weren't hits.
But yeah, in all seriousness, it's time to talk about Emerson Hancock. 6 innings pitched last night, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 earned runs on 5 hits. Had quite a few hard hit balls, which is typically, that doesn't lead to good things for Emerson Hancock. But not last night. Last night, Hancock was really good. And relative to expectations, dare I say, sensational. 12 whiffs for Hancock on top of the 7 Ks. And like I said in my reaction short thing that I did after the game, there were moments in the start where I'm watching him and I'm going, who is this guy? What has he done with Emerson Hancock? I mean, like some of those sinkers that we saw, especially the one to Casas for strike 3, nasty. Yeah. A couple of sliders, pretty nasty last night. Mm-hmm. Like this was the first time that I watched Emerson Hancock and had a stank face on. And for a good reason, by the way. Not because he's given up 6 and
certainly not the first time I've watched Hancock start like, what is this? Probably the first time in the other direction.
Yeah.
But no, I thought Logan Gilbert was pretty good last night. Hancock was really good, especially if you ignore that like 6-7 hitter stretch where he was either piping everything or he was missing glove side by a foot. Just randomly.
It was at that point where I'm like, oh, okay, there he is.
There we go.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the stuff to pitch around this. And then not only did he kind of manage his way out of it and maintain a lead, Seattle was actually able to score a couple runs in the top of the 6th, which I'm sure gave Dan enough confidence to put I don't want to give Dan the benefit of the doubt on any decision that he makes, but like I'm sure he wasn't going to put Hancock back out there if the score was still 4-2 after what he had just watched.
Yeah, we saw him do that in Cincinnati where it's like, okay, I'm not going to push my luck.
Yeah.
We got way more than we could have asked for here out of Hancock. Let's go to the bullpen now. Right. But yeah, once the Mariners gave Hancock that insurance there, that made it what? 6-1, 6-2.
It was back up to a 4-run game.
Yeah.
And the bullpen was hot, so if anything happened. And then Hancock just went out there and like retired the side on like 8 pitches.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not? At Fenway Park against this lineup, sure. Emerson Hancock breaks out the filthiest breaking ball we've seen since he was the Friday night starter at Georgia in 2019.
And this game started out insane. He gets Duran striking out and Devers, and he got 3 whiffs on Devers.
Yeah, I mean, he was piping fastballs down the middle. Rafael Devers is a little bit lost right now, as you can see, because you put a fastball. He usually
isn't when we face him, so that was nice to see.
If you put a fastball above the belt to Devers today, or in the series, you were getting him out. Like he didn't have a shot on that pitch. And credit to Hancock, he was just like, yeah, I know I have a bad fastball. You can't hit a fastball right now, so boom, boom, boom. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to go right after you. And that was Hancock really all night. He really just went after guys. He attacked them. And he wasn't nibbling, which can lead to disaster. Let's be very clear. Hancock kind of has to nibble a little bit because his stuff is so bad. But last night, 7 whiffs on his fastballs. Only one of his pitches did he record a whiff percentage of higher than 30%, which is what we would consider to be good. But 29%, 29%, 25%, 29%. 33%, 20 called strikes.
He was painting last night.
Yeah. Again, 20 called strikes against that lineup. Like they were taking a lot of pitches and they weren't taking a lot of pitches down the middle.
And if I'm not mistaken, they are number 1 in swing rate.
They're up there.
Here, I'll verify that.
Yeah, they're up there. So I don't know what Hancock did to kind of like push the Red Sox out of their plan. But let's, all kidding aside here. Emerson Hancock last night was the best start of Emerson's career.
They're 3rd in swing rate.
Yeah, they're an aggressive club. And to get 20 called strikes with your stuff, you have to be painting. And he was, for the most part. Again, a lot of hard hit balls, but a lot of ground balls as well.
So they also have the lowest called strike against rate.
Yeah.
In baseball. So
yeah, Hancock, for the most part, on the corners. Again, there was that, was it 6-7 hitter stretch where
they're in the fourth and maybe the fifth, or maybe
it was the fourth and the fifth.
Third. Yeah, where the command fade a little bit. The velo kind of dipped a little bit. It's like, oh, here we go.
Walks Story, walks another guy, and I just up, and then the fifth doesn't go much better. Lots of hard contact, and they kind of manage to only give up one. And then, again, thankfully the Mariners offense added some add-on runs so that Hancock could go out there and end on a high note.
Yeah. But while you got big contributions out of Cal and Randy and, your top dogs this road trip and over the course of the season for sure, the reason that you're 14-11, the reason that you went 6-3 on this road trip is because of guys like Emerson Hancock, because of guys like Leo Rivas and Ben Williamson and Rowdy Tellez and Carlos Vargas. And
boy, Rowdy turned back into a pumpkin pretty quick, didn't he?
Yeah, but we'll always have the Rowdy Revenge series.
Sure,
we'll always have that.
He's giving you more than Donovan Solano has, who drew a walk today. So
we might need to talk a little bit about Donovan Solano
tomorrow. We'll probably have a discussion about roster moves that probably should be made, or at the very least need to be discussed. So tomorrow
we'll talk a little bit about Matt Brash as well.
Right. I mean, tomorrow will probably be a bit of a reset day for us. I imagine we'll talk about a couple of roster moves that they could potentially make. We might talk about have a serious conversation about moving the lineup around a little bit. And obviously Matt Brash, more than likely going to make his debut during this homestand, maybe this weekend, but we'll wait and see on that. So that's probably all things we'll discuss tomorrow. But today, Mariners just won a series in a ballpark they haven't won a series in since 2014, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Dustin Ackley was hitting second the last time the Mariners won a series. And he was actually decent. He had a 255 average.
Yeah. In 2014, Dustin Ackley was pretty solid.
Yeah. So
playing left field. Yeah.
Baseball is wild and it is awesome because of the results like we saw the last 2 days.
Well, and again, the thing that's kind of separating you right now is your depth. Who could have called that? Right? Like, again, you're getting contributions out of guys like Leo Rivas and Miles Mastrobuoni, like legitimate, real contributions at the moment from guys like that. Emerson Hancock is coming through in some big spots in some really tough places to pitch in. Carlos Vargas has shown up out of nowhere and has pitched very well out of the bullpen for the most part.
Just about everybody in the bullpen is at a blow up. Munoz came really close, but he hasn't had one yet officially. So he's just about the only one that hasn't had a bad outing.
But I could go on and on about just like the unsung heroes on this club so far. In addition to, your big dogs who are, carrying things when it seemingly it matters the most, right? Like Cal has done, like Randy has done a ton of times in the clutch this year. It's been a total complete club effort over these first 25 games that they've played.
Right. Like you said, it's Dylan Moore. It's Ben Williamson after playing 130 games in the minors coming up and just being one of your best players right away. And obviously that will fade over time. Ben Williamson's not going to hit 300 this year. But
would love to see him do that.
Absolutely. But whatever. We know at some Dylan Moore's not an everyday player. They're overusing him right now, but he's looking good. So they're going to keep him out
playing
there.
The hot hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Miles Mastrobuoni's contributing. And, how about Jorge Polanco, who, even though he can't be there on the field and he's limited in what he can do, is still
another hit today.
Yeah. Been your best, most consistent hitter, and he's getting healthier. And so you're doing this without Victor Robles, who is kind of supposed to be that energizer guy. Like, he's the energy dude and he's the leadoff hitter and he's stealing bases, and you lost him for half the year. And
they just haven't skipped a beat.
Baseman. Yeah. And Leo Rivas is called up and he's performed right away. You look at Miles Mastrobuoni, who made the team out of opening day. He's performed. You're even getting a little bit of contribution from guys like Mitch Garver and guys like Rowdy Tellez, although it's really just the one series from Rowdy, but whatever. You're getting contributions from these guys. And like, if I told you that, Julio Rodriguez would be hitting 200 with a sub 700 OPS, and I had told you that Randy Arozarena was going to hit 200 and his OPS was going to be, buoyed by walks. He was going to lead the American League in walks. If I told you Mitch Garver was going to have a sub 600 OPS, if I told you all of these things, you would have said the Mariners suck. They've had to start, Luis F. Castillo for a couple games. And you would have said this is a disaster. And that's the beauty of baseball, because Dylan Moore steps up, Ben Williamson steps up, Leo Rivas steps up. JP Crawford, arguably the best player, the best hitter in baseball over the last 2 weeks. Like, he's up there. He really is. Go look at the numbers, guys. He's up there. And obviously, even though they haven't been amazing all year, Randy has certainly had huge moments. Cal has certainly carried. Julio has even had some big moments as he struggled. And so they're getting contributions from everybody. And it's the guys who it's the Colin Snyder who bounced back after a rough start. It's Vargas. It's, anybody but Trent Thornton out of the bullpen. It's all these guys. How about, was it Sarin Lau or whatever, who came up and pitched really well and saved the bullpen for you and all that. Like, Casey Lawrence and Jesse Hahn have given you good innings this year. Like, just go down the list of all these contributors who we did not expect anything from. And that's awesome because A, it's helped the Mariners go 14-11, and B, we don't know what the ceiling of this club is because we haven't seen Julio, Cal, and Randy all be good at the same time. We haven't seen the starting rotation all be good at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to wonder at least a little bit about, like, what if this offense actually does kind of look like this when the rotation figures it out? Like, could be fun, as we always say. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned him, Mitch Garver. It's been rough start to the year for him. He only got his first extra base hit of the year today, the 2-run double against Crochet. But he's got a 4-game hit streak. Had a multi-hit game on Sunday against the Blue Jays. WRC plus now up to 94. Still not league average yet, but he's creeping up there. He's starting to find it a little bit. So we'll see if he can hit for a bit more power. But he's not completely lost at the moment, so that's nice to see.
Sure.
Yeah, the only guy that really looks just lost right now is Solano, unfortunately, which breaks my heart. But we will potentially talk about that tomorrow.
If you're going to pick a guy to just be like completely cooked, you would probably want it to be Solano.
Yeah.
So,
all right. That is going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners post-game show. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at @LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez. Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG. Colby at MLB Colby. And the show at Locked On Mariners. And you can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.